Thank you for tuning in to the Without Distraction Relationship broadcast. I am your host, Dr. Ingrid Durr. Today, we have a special guest. She is an author of Bleeding in the Pew. Her name is Corine Stone. And we're going to be talking about dealing with rejection, molestation, rape, fear, and shame. How are you, Doctor?
I'm wonderful. I'm so happy to be here with you today. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you're here. You're not only an author, but you're also a pastor, and you're doing a lot of great things in the community. But what we want to do is we want to focus in a little bit on your book. Tell me what inspired you to write this book.
Pain.
Yes.
Pain. Writing was like therapy for me. So I started writing down my feelings and how I felt and writing down events, and without having the thought of it being a book. But that's what I did. So it was like therapy for me.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, can you tell us a little bit more about what the book is about, and what is the name of it? Why did you, what does it mean, bleeding in the pews?
Oh, God. Okay, bleeding in the pews. This title means the wounds, the hurt, the pain that I was experiencing throughout my life with having been raped and molested and gone through all of that kind of stuff. So my father started molesting me when I was 5 years old, all the way to 14.
Now, you're talking about a stepfather, or you're talking about
my biological father, who
father
had 9 children by my mother.
Wow.
And so he molested me until 14, then tried to rape me. And then 6 months later, I was raped twice on the same day by 2 different guys within 12 hours. Became pregnant. And all the time, I was in the church, and I was bleeding in the pews.
Okay.
I had wounds that were profusely bleeding. Yeah, and it was very painful. So I started writing in 1996, jotting down memories and thoughts and how I felt. And some of it was very painful. I had to come away from it for a time, but it was very therapeutic for me.
Yes. Well, I can only imagine, a person that might have been raped or abused by somebody that's a stranger. That hurts, and it's very painful. But just imagining a relative and a parent.
Right.
That is, I know it's a very hard experience. And the fact that you went through that and you began to put it in writing. Yes. And you said it brought you healing.
It did.
In the process. Wow.
Yes.
Oh my. So even with all that, and did you get any warnings, or how old were you at that time when the activity started?
Well, at 4, my sister, my older sister, who was a year older than me, she got burned in a fire. And what happened, we were left in the house, and I told my sister, who was 5, I was 4, said I was cold. So we went outside and picked up kindling wood, and we came back in to put it in the heater. She put the wood in her dress and put it in the heater. And then when the dress caught fire as soon as it went in. And so she jumped on the couch, and the house, the curtains and everything caught fire, and she told me to run. So as a result, she was burned, severely burned. And my mother had gone over to her mom's house. So when my mother came back and looked at me and saw that I was okay, but my sister was really, really, really hurt. And so as I watched my mother cry and just sob, and the sound, I could hear her even now. And as she was weeping and stuff, like, I wanted to exchange places with my sister. So I wanted to die. And so as a result of that, that's how rejection entered my life. And so as I was feeling that rejection, and my mother, she went into a deep depression. Being 4 years old, I didn't understand it. So what happened then, my father told me that I was going to become his special little girl. And so he paid attention to me, he wooed me, he lured me into a relationship. And I thought it was love. I thought now somebody is paying me attention, because I just felt so horrible. So when he began to tell me I was his special girl, he loved me, and the things that he did with the touching, the rubbing, the kissing, and so on and so forth, it made me feel like I mattered, that somebody cared about me. Because as you know, rejection makes you feel like you're unwanted, and you're unloved, and that you're worthless. Yes,
and that's longing for love and attention.
And being my father told me, he said, this is what fathers do with their babies.
Oh, wow.
This is how they love their special girls. And so I didn't know that it was wrong. All I know is that I enjoyed the attention. And so, and then he told me that as I got older, enough. He was going to show me everything. So when he came into my room to have sex with me at 14, I fought him. And he threatened me, of course. And then later on, about 6 months later, I got raped at school by a classmate, someone that I knew. And then later that night, as I went to tell my cousin what had happened to me, my father's friend raped me as well. So I got raped twice on the same day. So what it does, it changed my whole concept of what sex was. And so then I entered into a number of relationships and marriages where I didn't want to have sex. I had this thing against penetration, and so I had a wrong image about sex and just marital love.
It just felt like this is just ugly. I just hate this. I don't like this.
It felt like rape.
So even in a relationship,
even in the marriage, it just felt right.
It just feel like repeating the same issue. You was hurting, and every time that happened,
it felt just like the same day.
The same day.
And I became pregnant as a result of the rape. So I became a mother at 15. Which God gave me my son, and that was my reason to live, because up until that time I just wanted to die. And so then I got married, and so my husband and I made agreement, you do what you want to do on the outside, and I'm at home. And so that's where it was. And so then the relationship became abusive, so I left that relationship, went into another abusive relationship. So what happens is starts cycles in your life. So I was on a devastating cycle because of what had happened to me, and it just skewed everything that I thought about love and thought about sex. And then and I was in the church, I was preaching, but I was bleeding in the pews. I was wounded and I was hurt. And the messages, I heard many messages, but the messages really didn't address the issue of being molested or being raped. And plus, I was dealing with the shame of not wanting anyone to know, and living with the fear that if you found out what had happened to me, that you wouldn't love me, you would reject me some more. Exactly. So in 1996, I was asked to teach a class on abuse. And that's when I started jotting down, and I had to stand up in the church and tell everyone that I had experienced being abused, I had been molested, and I've been raped. And it was therapeutic for me as I shared. And the class filled up, and we had like 150 people in this class every Sunday morning. And God started me on my road, my journey to wholeness. And that was 19 years ago. And so I was writing. So I just published a book in January, so we thank God.
This is awesome.
Yes.
Bleeding in the pew.
Bleeding in the pew.
Now you're looking at someone that had been raped by her father, her biological father, at the age of 4. He started manipulating her. And by the time she turned 14, you're 14. And then this kind of thing happened where he wanted to, just rape you and things of that nature. Now you're looking at a sick man. He was sick. Had problems, had issues, major issues. And I know we're going to talk some more about that on the result of what happened with him. But when you first told your parents and your relatives, did you fear that they might not receive you, or how did that transpire when you
I told them about the book, or when I told them what had happened to me?
When you told them what happened to you.
Okay, what I did, my mother worked from 7 at night to 7 in the morning. So when she would leave and go away, I would run away because I was afraid that my dad was going to come and do more to me. And so at 17, I was just tired of running away, so I told my mom's friend, and she took me to my mom's mother, and I told her. And so my grandmother came over and had a meeting with my mom and dad, and she told me to tell my mother what had happened. So I told her. She was very devastated, of course. And she told my grandmother to get me out of her sight. And then my dad confessed and said, I did it. She's not lying. She's telling the truth.
So he did confess.
He did confess, but my mother still put me out. She put me out.
It probably was hard to believe. And maybe probably in the beginning she probably didn't realize that you had nothing to do with it. And she probably sometimes, especially if you're married to a person that's an abuser, the first thing they do, they recover their spouse and not realize that, even though your daughter, what have you, she probably just covered her husband at the time. And probably was thinking when maybe my daughter had something to do with it. Maybe she inspired it, and maybe, so this could be one of the reasons why she probably did that.
And Ingrid, I find that a lot of women who have gone through this, even men, women, and girls, a lot of times they are not believed by their parents. And a lot of times it's hard for a woman to believe that this man that she's married to, that she had children with, it's so difficult to believe that they could even stoop to that low.
Right.
And so what they do is they kind of program their mind not to believe it and not to accept it. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to a lady who had been raped by her mother's boyfriend, and the mother told her she was lying, she whooped her, and then she gave her away. And she's still with the man. She's still with the man. And you hear the story all the time. And I encounter so many women who have this story about how they were raped and abused by a family member, a mama's boyfriend, or even their own father, and then the mother chose the man. She chose to believe the man rather than the girl.
Right.
And it's very devastating.
Yeah, that
very
is devastating. And then the rejection part comes in on the child or the son or daughter, whoever it is in the family. Because wow, I can't believe that my parents chose to believe him over or her, because there have been some instances where some women have been abusive and molesting their sons. So and you that's kind of rare, but it happens.
Yes, it does.
And the fact that they choose their spouse before they with the child, so the rejection comes into the child. So how did you deal with the rejection part itself?
I dealt with it very badly, because what happened, rejection colors everything. Every relationship is colored by rejection, and your judgment is really off. And so then you walk around feeling unloved. Well, then if somebody abuses you, you say, okay, I don't deserve to be loved. I deserve to be mistreated. I deserve to be abused because I'm not worthy of anything. And so I dealt with it very badly. But as I kept seeking guidance, God continued to take me through my process and my writing, and just really allowing myself to go through the process and to feel all the pain. Because what happened, I buried so much of what had happened to me because it was just too much to even think about. And so as God began to uncover the memories, and he allowed me to experience them and to experience his love, and I found out in the word that God loves me. He knows everything about me, yet he loves me. He does. He loves me, and that was very healing. And so, and I became, because see, when you're dealing with rejection, you'll even reject God.
That's right. That's true.
So I had to learn how to tear down all the walls that I had erected around my heart and around my life, and God began to strip those and break those down through the power of his love, and he delivered me. And I'm so happy about that.
Oh my!
Yes, I am.
Happy too, that you hear smiling and successful in ministry, and also in your writing. This has blessed so many people, and just the courage that you have. How did you really get that courage? I know the Lord helped you, but just the fact that some people, they stay in abusive relationships. But what inspired you to come out?
I found out because God loves me that I deserve better. And I learned that I am special. I'm unique. I'm wonderfully and fearfully made. And so, and I deserve love. And so, and I found that out, and I began, and so in the last abusive relationship was a verbally abusive relationship. And I just said, no. I was standing in London, and I was ministering, and God said, look at where you are. And I was preaching, and God just in that moment realized where I was and who was the reason that I was there. Me, a little girl from Arkansas who had been molested, raped, and all this kind of stuff. And God yet allowed me to get 3 degrees, 3 college degrees, and here I am standing in London. How dare somebody talk down to me because they don't feel good about themselves? Oh no, I won't take it. I said I deserve so much more. And God gave me the strength when I got back to walk out of the last abusive relationship I was in.
So the love of God inspired you. That what transformed your life. To know that you don't deserve the kind of treatment you're getting, and you're beating yourself as well, and condemned and everything else that goes along with rejection and abuse. So and just to know that, hey, it's time to stop the abuse. I'm going to take a stand.
Yes.
I'm going to let people know where I'm at, and so they can respect me as well. Yeah. And also just keeping your ground. You begin to speak out the things that you knew that was rightfully yours in life. And so as you begin to speak out, then things begin to happen. And
he shifted.
Your life was shifted. So that's powerful to know that we can get that shift no matter how or what happened in our life, in our past, that we can make that shift. We can make that change. We can overcome. We can be victorious because God has blessed us with life. And He wanted us to have it more abundantly. So the thing is, I don't care if you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor, if you're a politic, a political official, no matter what status you're in, you can be healed and whole, because there may be a secret storm that you may be going through. You could be a male or female. You can be a child or an adult. It may be something you're going through right now, but there is answers. There's ways that you can overcome. Take it from Dr. Stone. She have experienced it all, and even in her writing, you can get more information about this book at the close of the broadcast. Matter of fact, we'll put it on the screen, how you can email her or make contact. Or contact me, Ingrid Durr for you.com. Or the best website you can get to is withoutdistractionrelationship.com. Or you can call me, area code 708-745-4393. Dr. Stone, if someone wants to get in touch with you by phone, what is that number?
Yes, you can reach me at 708-314-8576. Or you can email me at CorineStoneMinistries@gmail.com.
So it doesn't matter where you are in life. If you have gone through any abusive relationship, and every time you get involved in a relationship and that thing keeps flaring back up, that means it's something that's still there, that's unresolved, that needs attention in order for you to overcome and get your healing. Is that correct?
That is so true. And one of the things, part of the mission that God has called me to is to transform lives one at a time. But God said He had to transform my life first. Because I had to be the pattern. I had to be the example. So that meant I had to uncover, and I had to actually look at those painful things. Because sometimes when you look in the mirror and you look at yourself and you see all these wrong things, the first thing you want to do is cover the mirror up. But when you're dealing with things that are so devastating to your life, we need to look in the mirror, take that hard look at ourselves, and allow God to bring forth His healing power into our life, and allow Him to heal us. He can. He did it for me, and He'll do it for you.
And then there's also a lot of programs available.
It is.
For those that have been abused. Of course, you can go to a replica church, and you can also go to some social places and seek out, look for help. And just speaking with you, you already told me what helped you with your healing process. And so what are some of the other things we need to do to help overcome and to really get free in our spirit from those type of abuses?
I didn't get free until I admitted that I was bound.
You have to admit it.
You have to admit it. You have to confess and recognize that you need healing, that you need deliverance. And so that's the first thing. The second stage that's so critical to our deliverance is we have to forgive those that abuse you or hurt you. And the thing that I encourage people all the time, you cannot sit around and wait for your abuser to come knock on your door to say they are sorry. Many times that will never happen. It will
almost never happen.
So you have to forgive, and the scripture tells us that we have to forgive in order for God to forgive us. So I had to forgive my abusers, and they never came back and said they were sorry. As a matter of fact, my son's father, he denied that he had ever touched me. But yet, he touched me, and I have a son. But that's okay. I had to forgive him.
You had to forgive him. Even
I had to forgive him. He was
kind of covered up. You know what you've been through and your experiences. And your experiences are true as facts. It was a reality.
I have a birth certificate.
I was a virgin. That was, oh my, that's even harder. I mean, it's not, it seemed like it can't get even harder. The fact that you already gone through this situation. This is a biological parent.
Yes.
And you're young.
Yes.
It broke your virginity.
Yes.
And just all on top of it, I mean,
yes.
Hurt is hurt.
Yes.
And pain is pain.
Yes.
And the fact that you have overcame, you
yes.
had to forgive, you've
yes.
forgiven him,
yes.
and you realize that you couldn't wait till somebody come to you.
Wait.
You had to release yourself.
Yes.
And so sometimes forgiveness is not just for the other. It's not for the other person.
It's for you.
Yes, it is. And that's, we have to understand that we got to let go of the pain.
Yes.
Forgive the person, even if you never get a chance to talk with that person.
Yes.
And tell them I forgive you. You have to forgive them out of your heart.
Yes.
Because out of your heart flow the issues of life.
Yes. Yes.
And so, wow, this is something, the fact that you've been through those things and see the smile on your face and everything that God is doing in your life, the things that you have got accomplished, the things that you're doing.
Yes.
And wow.
Yes, it's awesome.
What else can we say about this? This is
well, you know, you have to forgive, and then the other thing you have to do, you have to be open to how God want to heal you.
Yes.
We have to be open to who God want to use in your life to bring you to the healing place. Mm-hmm. And you can't pick your healing or your deliverance process. You cannot do it.
Sure.
God is in charge of that.
That's right.
He's in charge. You have to let God drive, and you ride.
That's
you agree to ride in the journey that God places you on.
Yes.
And a lot of times what happens, we'll reject the very people that God put into our lives to help us. Right. And we'll run to the other people that will agree with us, or either they'll massage our devils.
Or massage the hurt and the pain.
Yeah, that's right.
So the thing is, it's like she said, we can't pick and choose. We can't even pick and choose if we're gonna, even though I know for a fact, and we know for a fact, to look to the source. And I got to give God the glory because He is the source.
Yes, He
is our strength. Although we have programs available that will help us overcome, because you have people that can talk to you outside of the church that specializes in these areas.
Yes.
Social programs that can help you. And the bottom line is look up to the hills.
Yes, from whence comes your help?
Your help, because the Lord would give the ultimate healing in your life. Because we've seen people that have went through abusive programs, whether they're alcoholic, they're drug addict, and all types of issues. They go through the program, but then what happened after so long? Sometimes they fall right back into the traps of the hurt and the pain and everything else. And so, but one of the things I inspire people to do, that even though they're going through other programs, get connected with a church. Get connected with spiritual advisors, spiritual help. I'm not talking about soothsayers and all that, but get some godly counsel from a pastor and things of that nature, and someone that can specialize in your area. And also feel free to call me, Dr. Russell, and you can get the help you need. I will help inspire you, get you the resources that you need, along with the education that we have to give you, to help you to overcome. And help is available. So don't be silent. Don't stay silent, because what happens when a person stays silent?
It prolongs the healing process.
Yes,
it does. It delays it.
Wow, it sure does.
Yes, it does. It does. And so we have to, and I always tell people, just make one step, turn to God. Just turn to God, and He'll direct you in the right place.
Yes, He will. Yes, He will. And also, I just want to say I appreciate you tuning in to Without Distraction Relationship Broadcast. Thank you for tuning in to Without Distraction Relationship Broadcast with my guest here, Pastor Corine Stone. She is an author of Bleeding in the Pews, and this have a whole lot to do with in ministry, but yet hurting until she had overcame and gotten the victory and gotten her deliverance. And then you can see her well and healthy, and God is using her in a tremendous way. And again, we want to tell you, tune in. We're going to have you back again.
Amen. I love to come back. Yes.
To continue in discussing overcoming and getting the victory in our life.
Yes.
Wow, awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in again. You can reach us at 708-745-4393, or check out our website at Without Distraction Relationship Broadcast. And also, we have an annual event that deals with relationships. You don't have to be abused or abuser, but it deals with single relationship, marriage relationship, and you can come to our annual events. In 2016 will be our 12th annual Without Distraction Relationship Conference. We have singing, music, a lot of great stuff. It's always around Valentine's season, so check it out before Valentine weekend and come out and enjoy the event. You will be blessed with a lot of people of in your area, whether you're a pastor, a leader, political official, government official. It doesn't matter who you are. You can come out, network, and plug in to a lot of great people that have the same goals to enhance and empower relationships. So again, we just thank you, Dr. Stone, for just being here with us. If there was anything else you'd like to say, what would you tell the audience as far as overcoming?
Get this book. Contact me at CorineStoneMinistry.org. Amen.
Tune in again. Thank you, and God bless.
When I am down and oh so very weary, when troubles come and my heart burden me, then I am still and waiting in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on those mountains. You raise me up to walk the stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk those stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on those mountains. You raise me up to walk those stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on those mountains. You raise me up to walk those stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise me up to more than I can be.